Captain Lee Daho stared at the massive alien ship floating in space before him. The vessel was 3 times larger than his own ship, the Iron Phoenix. Its dark metal surface gleamed with strange lights that pulsed like a heartbeat. He had never seen anything like it. "Sir, they're sending us a message," said his communication officer, Lieutenant Park Minji. She was young but very smart. The crew trusted her with all the important messages. "Put it on the main screen," Lee Daho ordered. The screen flickered and showed a creature that made several crew members step back. It had 4 arms, gray skin, and eyes that glowed yellow. When it spoke, its voice was deep and cold. "I am Commander Thexmol of the Velkari Empire. You primitive beings will surrender your ships and colonies to us. We have conquered 47 species across the galaxy. None have resisted us. You will not be the first." Lee Daho looked around at his crew. They were scared, but they were ready to fight. These were his people, and this was their space. No alien would tell them what to do. "This is Captain Lee Daho of the human vessel Iron Phoenix. We reject your demands. This is our territory. Leave now, and we won't attack you." The alien's 4 eyes widened. It seemed shocked that a human had spoken to it this way. For a moment, there was silence on both ships. "You refuse?" Thexmol asked. "No species has ever refused the Velkari Empire. You do not understand what you are doing." "I understand perfectly," Lee Daho replied. "You want to make us slaves. We choose to fight instead." Back on Earth, Admiral Kim Jinwoo was meeting with other military leaders. They had been watching the alien ships for 3 days. The aliens had visited 4 different human colonies, demanding the same thing each time: surrender or die. "Sir, we've analyzed their technology," Dr. Nam Hyun-soo said. She was the best scientist in the human fleet. "Their weapons are much more advanced than ours. Their shields are stronger, their ships are faster." "But?" Admiral Kim asked. He knew there was always a but when Dr. Nam spoke. "But they fight like they've never faced real resistance. Their tactics are old and predictable. They expect enemies to run or surrender quickly." Colonel Yoon Sunmi, the toughest Marine in the fleet, spoke up. "Admiral, my soldiers are ready. We may not have their technology, but we have something they don't." "What's that?" Kim asked. "We know how to fight dirty." Back in space, the first battle was beginning. Commander Thexmol had decided to make an example of the human ship. He would destroy it quickly and show other humans what happened to those who refused the Empire. "Fire the primary weapon," he ordered. A bright blue beam shot from the alien ship toward the Iron Phoenix. Captain Lee Daho watched it coming. "All power to forward shields," he commanded. "Brace for impact." The beam hit the human ship hard. The lights flickered and several crew members were thrown to the floor. Smoke filled the bridge. "Damage report," Lee Daho called out. "Forward shields down to 30%. Hull damage on our decks 2 and 3, reported engineer Han Kyung-ho. Lee Daho smiled grimly. His ship was hurt, but it was still fighting. "Their turn," he said. "Fire all weapons." The Iron Phoenix shot everything it had at the alien ship. Missiles, energy beams, and projectile weapons all struck the Velkari vessel. But the alien shields barely flickered. "Impossible," Thexmol said. "Their weapons are too weak to hurt us. Fire again." But Captain Lee Daho had a different plan. He had studied the alien ship for 3 days. He knew something that Thexmol did not know. "Set course for the alien ship. Full speed." Lieutenant Choi Woo-jin, his pilot, looked confused. "Sir, are you sure we'll crash into them?" "That's exactly what I want," Lee Daho said. Dr. Park Minji understood first. "Captain, you want to ram them. Their shields stop energy weapons and missiles, but they're not designed to stop a ship traveling at full speed. We're going to hit them hard." The alien commander watched in shock as the human ship turned toward his vessel and began accelerating. "What are they doing?" he asked his crew. "They're on a collision course, Commander. They're going to ram us." "But they'll die too," Thexmol said. "No species would sacrifice their lives like this." The Iron Phoenix struck the alien ship like a hammer. The crash was tremendous. Both ships were badly damaged. Many humans died in the impact, but so did many aliens. Captain Lee Daho was injured, but he was alive. Half of his ship was destroyed. But the alien ship was hurt worse. Its shields were down and its weapons were offline. "This is impossible," Commander Thexmol said, as his ship drifted powerless in space. "No species fights like this. They would rather die than surrender." "Sir," his communication officer said, "we're getting messages from the other fleets. Similar attacks are happening at 3 other human colonies." "What do you mean, similar?" "The humans are ramming our ships. They're willing to die to hurt us." For the first time in 500 years, a Velkari commander felt fear. Back on Earth, Admiral Kim Jinwoo received reports from all 4 battles. The news was bad and good at the same time. "We lost 4 ships and 200 people," Colonel Yoon reported. "But we damaged or destroyed 6 alien vessels. They weren't expecting our tactics." "They'll learn," Dr. Nam warned. "Next time they'll be ready for ramming attacks." "Then we'll think of something else," Admiral Kim said. "The important thing is that we hurt them. We showed them that humans don't surrender." Dr. Park Minji was studying the wreckage of the alien ship. She found pieces of their technology that had broken off during the crash. What she discovered amazed her. "Admiral, their technology is advanced, but it's also very old. They haven't changed their designs in hundreds of years. They've become lazy because no one ever fights back." "What does that mean for us?" Kim asked. "It means we can learn from their technology and improve it. But more importantly, it means they can't learn from ours as quickly. They're not used to adapting." News of the first battle spread quickly across human space. People were scared, but they were also angry. The aliens wanted to make humans slaves. That would never happen. On every human world, factories began working, day and night, to build weapons and ships. Farmers became soldiers. Teachers learned to use guns. Children helped build ammunition. The entire human species was preparing for war. Commander Thexmol managed to repair his ship enough to return to Velkari space. When he arrived, he was brought before the Triumvirate, the 3 leaders of the Empire. "You failed to conquer one primitive human ship?" asked the first leader, Vextar. "They fought differently than any species we've encountered," Thexmol explained. "They preferred death to surrender." "Impossible," said the second leader, Kethrin. "All species choose life over death. That is why conquest is easy." "Not humans," Thexmol insisted. "They are different." The third leader, Zilthos, was the oldest and wisest of the 3. "How different can they be? We will send a larger fleet. That will solve this problem." But Commander Thexmol was not convinced. He had looked into human eyes during that battle. He had seen something that scared him. The humans were not just willing to die. They were eager to make their deaths count. He tried to warn the Triumvirate, but they would not listen. They had never lost a war. They could not imagine losing to humans. The first battle was over, but both sides knew it was only the beginning. The humans had shown they would fight. The aliens had shown they would not give up easily. Neither side knew that this small battle would change the entire galaxy forever. The Velkari Triumvirate sat in their great hall on the homeworld. The walls were covered with the flags of 47 conquered species. Soon they planned to add the human flag to their collection. "The humans must be punished," declared Vextar, hitting the table with his 4 fists. "No species can be allowed to resist us. If other races see that humans fought back, they might get ideas." Kethrin nodded in agreement. "We will send the 3rd Conquest Fleet. 300 ships should be enough to destroy every human world." Zilthos was more careful. "What if Commander Thexmol was right? What if humans are different?" "Different how?" Vextar laughed. "They have weak ships and simple weapons. Their technology is centuries behind ours. 300 ships will turn their worlds to ash." On Earth, Admiral Kim Jinwoo was not sleeping well. His scientists had been studying the alien technology for 2 months. What they found was both good news and bad news. "The good news is that we can copy their technology," Dr. Nam Hyunsu reported. "We've already improved our shields by 20%. "And the bad news?" Kim asked. "They have 300 ships coming. Our scouts confirmed it. They'll be here in 6 months." Colonel Yoon Sunmi was training new Marines every day. Word had spread across human space about the alien threat. Volunteers came from every world and every profession. I have a baker who can shoot better than most soldiers, she told Admiral Kim. I have a teacher who knows more about explosives than my demolition experts. These people are learning fast. Will they be ready in time? Kim asked. They'll have to be. Dr. Park Minji was working with a team of scientists to understand alien technology. She had made an amazing discovery. Admiral, the aliens don't innovate, she explained. Their technology is the same as it was 500 years ago. They never need to improve because no one fights back. What does that mean for us? It means we're already changing faster than they can adapt. Look at this. She showed him a new weapon design. It combined human engineering with alien technology, but it was better than both. We call it a plasma lance. It can punch through their shields like paper. Engineer Han Kyung-ho was working day and night to modify human ships. He had a wild idea that many people thought was crazy. What if we don't try to match their technology? He suggested. What if we use our own strengths instead? What strengths? Asked Captain Bai Seok-young, who had volunteered his merchant ship for military service. We're smaller and faster, we can change direction quickly. We can work together better than they can. You want us to fight like a swarm of insects, Bai said. Exactly. One insect can't hurt a giant, but 1,000 can kill it. Lieutenant Choi, Wu Jin was testing the new tactics in simulators. He was one of the best pilots in the human fleet, and he was learning to fly in ways that no alien had ever seen. The key is to never fight fair, he explained to other pilots. If they expect us to attack from the front, we attack from behind. If they think we'll run away, we attack instead. The Valkyrie 3rd Conquest Fleet was commanded by Fleet Admiral Mexthul, who had never lost a battle. His ships were arranged in perfect formation as they traveled through space toward human territory. How long until we reach the first human world? He asked his navigator. 2 months, Admiral. The planet they call Kepler 442. Good. We will destroy it completely. Then the other human worlds will surrender to save themselves. But Admiral Mexthul did not know that humans had been preparing for his arrival. The colonists on Kepler 442 had not run away. Instead, they had built defenses and gathered weapons. They were ready to fight. Dr. Lim Jae-ho was a doctor on Kepler 442, but he had learned to be a soldier too. He was leading a group of volunteers who would try to capture alien technology during the battle. Remember, he told his team, we need their ships intact. Every piece of alien technology helps our scientists learn more. The first sign of the alien fleet appeared on human sensors 2 days before the attack. There were so many ships that they blocked out the stars. Captain Song Yura commanded the human defense of Kepler 442. She had only 12 ships to face 300 alien vessels, but she was not afraid. All ships, remember the plan, she broadcast to her small fleet. We're not here to win. We're here to learn and to make them pay for every meter of space. The battle began at dawn. The alien ships came in perfect formation, just as they had for 500 years. They expected the humans to form a line and fight them directly. Instead, the human ships scattered in all directions like frightened birds. This confused the aliens, who had never seen such tactics. Where are they going? Admiral Mexthul asked, his tactical officer. I don't know, sir. They're not following any formation we recognize. That's when the human ships attacked. Instead of fighting as one group, each human ship attacked a different alien vessel. They used hit-and-run tactics, striking fast and then running away before the aliens could respond. Lieutenant Choi Woo-jin led the first attack. His small fighter came at an alien cruiser from below where their sensors were weaker. He fired his new plasma lance and punched a hole right through their shields. Direct hit, he reported. Their shields are down on the port side. Immediately, 3 other human ships attacked the same spot. The alien cruiser exploded in a ball of fire. Admiral Mexthul watched in shock as his perfect formation fell apart. The humans were like angry bees, stinging his ships from every direction. Return to defensive positions, he ordered. But it was too late. The humans had studied alien tactics for months. They knew exactly what the aliens would do next. Captain Bae Seok-young had hidden his merchant ship behind a small moon. When the alien ships moved into defensive formation, he attacked from behind with a full load of modified missiles. "Surprise!" he shouted as his weapons struck 3 alien ships at once. The battle lasted for 6 hours. When it was over, the humans had lost 8 of their 12 ships, but the aliens had lost 26 vessels, including 2 of their largest cruisers. More importantly, Dr. Lim Jae-ho and his team had successfully boarded and captured an alien ship that was only lightly damaged. "We have their computers," he reported to Admiral Kim on Earth. "We have their weapons, we have everything." Admiral Mexthul could not believe what had happened. His fleet was damaged and confused. The humans had fought like nothing he had ever seen. "They don't fight with honor," complained his second-in-command. "They fight to win," Mexthul realized. "They don't care about honor or tradition. They only care about surviving." The news of the battle reached Earth quickly. The humans had lost many brave people, but they had also learned valuable lessons. "We can hurt them," Admiral Kim told his staff. "Their ships are stronger, but their tactics are weak. They haven't fought a real war in centuries." Dr. Park Min-ji was studying the captured alien ship with great excitement. "Admiral, this changes everything. We now have access to their computer systems, their navigation charts, even their communications." "What does that mean?" "It means we know where they're going next. We can prepare for them." Colonel Yoon Sun-mi was already planning the next phase of the war. "We need to hit them where they don't expect it. No more defensive battles. It's time to attack." The Velkari fleet retreated to regroup and repair their damaged ships. Admiral Mexthul sent a message to the triumvirate that shook the foundations of their empire. "The humans are not like other species," he reported. "They adapt quickly. They learn from every battle. They use tactics we've never seen." "Are you saying we cannot defeat them?" Vextar demanded. "I'm saying it will be much harder than we thought. They don't fight like civilized beings. They fight like predators." For the first time in their long lives, the triumvirate began to worry. They had built their empire by conquering species that followed the same rules of war. But humans didn't follow any rules at all. The second battle was over, but it had taught both sides important lessons. The humans learned that they could hurt their enemies. The aliens learned that humans were unlike anything they had ever fought. Neither side knew that word of human resistance was already spreading to other species across the galaxy. For the first time in 500 years, conquered races were beginning to hope. 6 months had passed since the battle at Kepler 442. The war between humans and the Velkari Empire was spreading across the galaxy like wildfire. Admiral Kim Jin-woo stood on the bridge of humanity's newest ship, the Indomitable. It was built using both human engineering and captured alien technology. The ship was faster, stronger, and deadlier than anything humans had ever built before. "Status report," he requested from his officers. "Sir, our scouts report alien fleet movements in 7 sectors," said Captain Otewan. "They're trying to attack multiple human colonies at once." "Let them come," Kim replied. "We're not the same species they met 6 months ago." He was right. Humans had been learning and adapting at a speed that amazed even themselves. Dr. Park, Minji's research teams had reverse-engineered alien technology and improved it. Human factories were producing new weapons every week, but more importantly, humans were learning to fight in ways that confused and terrified their enemies. Colonel Yoon Sun-mi was training her Marines for a special mission. They called it boarding protocol. Instead of just destroying alien ships, humans had learned to capture them. "Remember," she told her soldiers, "aliens have 4 arms, but they're not used to close combat. They've always won their wars with big ships and powerful weapons. They don't know how to fight with knives and guns in narrow hallways." Sergeant Kang Min-ho raised his hand. "Colonel, what if they surrender?" "Then we take them prisoner and learn everything they know about their empire," she replied. "But don't expect them to surrender easily. They think they're superior to us." The first major test of human adaptation came at the Tau Ceti system. The aliens had sent a fleet of 60 ships to destroy the human mining colony there. Captain Song, Yura commanded the defense fleet of only 15 ships. But these weren't the same type of ships humans had used 6 months ago. These were hybrid vessels, combining human tactics with alien technology. All ships, assume attack formation Omega, she ordered. Formation Omega was something no alien had ever seen. Instead of flying in neat lines, human ships spread out in a three-dimensional web that surrounded the alien fleet from all sides. Admiral Kexavol of the Velkari fleet was confused by what he saw. What kind of formation is that? It makes no sense. Sir, they're everywhere, his tactical officer reported. Our sensors can't track them all. Then fire at all of them, Kexavol ordered. But that was exactly what the humans wanted. When the aliens fired their weapons in all directions, they couldn't concentrate their firepower on any single target. Meanwhile, all 15 human ships were firing at the same alien vessel. The first alien ship exploded in minutes. Then the human ships chose a new target and destroyed it just as quickly. This is impossible, Admiral Kexavol said. How can 15 ships defeat 60? Lieutenant Choi Woo-jin was leading a squadron of small fighters in the battle. His job was to confuse the enemy, while the larger ships did the real damage. Dragon Squadron, begin evasion pattern 7, he commanded. His fighters began flying, in crazy patterns around the alien ships, making it impossible for the aliens to target them. But the humans weren't just running away. They were planting small bombs on the alien hulls. Bombs away, Choi reported. 10 seconds to detonation. The explosions weren't big enough to destroy the alien ships, but they damaged sensors and weapons systems. This made the aliens even more confused and helpless. Dr. Lim Jae-ho was leading a boarding party onto a damaged alien cruiser. His team had practiced this operation dozens of times using the ship they had captured months earlier. Remember, shoot to wound, not to kill, he told his soldiers. We need prisoners who can answer questions. The aliens inside their ship were not prepared for humans with guns and explosives to come charging through their hallways. They had never fought an enemy that could board their vessels. Surrender, and you will be treated well, Dr. Lim announced in the alien language that human computers had learned to translate. Most of the aliens were so shocked by the idea of being captured that they gave up without fighting. The battle at Tau Shady was a complete victory for humanity. They destroyed 22 alien ships, captured 8 more, and took over 300 prisoners. But the most important victory was psychological. Admiral Kexavol's surviving ships fled back to Velkari, space carrying news that terrified the Empire. The humans are getting stronger, he reported to the Triumvirate. They learn from every battle. Their tactics change constantly. Their technology improves every month. That's impossible, insisted Vextar. No species advances that quickly. I've seen it with my own eyes, Kexvol replied. They captured 8 of our ships. They took hundreds of prisoners. They're learning our secrets faster than we can change them. Zilthos, the oldest member of the Triumvirate, finally began to understand what they were facing. How many ships have we lost so far? 147, Kexvol admitted. The hall fell silent. The Velkari Empire had not lost that many ships in the past century combined. Meanwhile, human colonies across the galaxy were celebrating their victories. But they were also preparing for what everyone knew was coming next. Engineer Han Kyung-ho had designed a new type of weapon specifically for fighting the Velkari. He called it the gravity hammer. It uses their own technology against them, Ito explained to Admiral Kim. Their ships depend on artificial gravity to function. This weapon disrupts that gravity field. What happens to the ship? Kim asked. Everything inside gets thrown around like dice in a cup. The crew can't fight when they're floating upside down and crashing into walls. Dr. Nam Hyun-soo had made her own breakthrough. She had been studying Velkari biology using samples from captured prisoners. Admiral, I've found a weakness, she announced. Their immune systems are very weak. They've lived in sterile environments for so long that they can't handle Earth bacteria. Are you suggesting we use biological weapons? Kim asked carefully. Not to kill them, she replied, just to make them sick enough that they can't fight effectively. It's like giving them a very bad cold. Captain Bae-sik Young had been promoted to Commodore and given command of a raiding fleet. His job was to attack Velkari supply ships and disrupt their communications. Hit and run, he told his captains. We attack their supply lines and disappear before their warships can respond. Cut off their food and fuel, and even the strongest fleet becomes helpless. The strategy was working. Velkari fleets were running out of supplies. Their communications were being disrupted. Their morale was falling, but humans were just getting started. Colonel Yoon Sunmi's Marines had become experts at boarding alien ships. They had captured so many vessels that human engineers were running out of places to store them all. We're learning their technology faster than our own scientists can study it, she reported to Admiral Kim. Every ship we capture makes us stronger. The aliens had created a new word in their language, human-touched. It meant technology or tactics that had been influenced by human innovation. Velkari commanders feared anything that was human-touched, because it usually meant death for their crews. They're like a virus, one captured Velkari officer told his human interrogators. They take our technology and make it better. They learn our tactics and find ways to defeat them. They spread across space like a disease. The human interrogator, Dr. Shin Yunbi, found this comparison interesting. Is that how your empire sees us, as a disease? You're worse than a disease, the alien replied. A disease just kills you. Humans remake everything they touch. They're changing the nature of warfare itself. Admiral Kim was reading reports from battles across human space. The news was almost too good to believe. In the past month, we've won 12 battles and lost only one, Captain O reported. Our casualty rates are dropping while theirs are increasing. They're learning to fear us, Kim realized. For the first time in their history, the Velkari are afraid. But Kim also knew that a frightened enemy could be more dangerous than a confident one. Fear made people desperate, and desperate people did unpredictable things. Double our patrols, he ordered. Increase security at all colonies. When predators get scared, they often attack everything around them. He was right to be worried. Deep in Velkari space, the triumvirate was meeting to discuss their final option. They called it the Cleansing Protocol. If we cannot defeat the humans in battle, Zilthos said grimly, then we will destroy every world they live on. We will turn their planets into ash and dust. That will take our entire fleet, Vextar pointed out. Then we will use our entire fleet, Kethran replied. Better to destroy the humans completely than to let them destroy us. The decision was made. Every Velkari ship in the Empire would gather for one final assault on Earth itself. They would either win everything or lose everything. Neither side knew that this decision would determine not just the fate of humanity, but the future of the entire galaxy. The message came through every human communication system at the same time. Admiral Kim Jinwoo's voice was calm, but serious as he spoke to the entire human species. Citizens of Earth and all human colonies, I have important news. Our long-range scouts have detected the largest alien fleet ever assembled. Over 2,000 Velkari ships are heading toward Earth. They will arrive in 30 days. Across human space, people stopped what they were doing to listen. This is their final attack, Kim continued. They're bringing every ship they have, but we are ready for them. Every human world will contribute to our defense. We will show them what it means to threaten humanity. General O Taewon was coordinating the defense of Earth's orbital stations. The planet was now surrounded by weapons platforms, mining stations converted into fortresses, and captured alien ships repurposed for human use. How many ships do we have? He asked his aide, Captain Ryu Changmin. 400 combat vessels, sir, plus 600 civilian ships that have been armed for battle. And the aliens have 2,000, O noted. Those aren't good odds. No, sir, Ryu agreed. But we're not planning to fight fair. Dr. Park Minji was working around the clock in her laboratory. She had made a discovery that could change everything. Admiral, she called Kim excitedly, I found something in their computer systems. The Velkari ships all operate on the same network. They share information instantly across their entire fleet. That sounds like an advantage for them, Kim replied. It would be if we couldn't hack into it, she smiled. But we've had access to their systems for months. I think we can turn their greatest strength into their greatest weakness. Captain Song Yura was commanding a special squadron called the Ghost Fleet. These were ships designed to be invisible to alien sensors. Their job was to get close to the Velkari fleet without being detected. "Remember," she told her captains, "we're not trying to destroy their entire fleet. We just need to create chaos at the right moment." Scientist Kang Minho had finished building his gravity hammer weapons. They were now installed on 50 human ships. "Each shot will disable an alien vessel for approximately 10 minutes, he explained to Admiral Kim. "Their crews will be too disoriented to fight back during that time." 10 minutes is long enough, Kim replied. "Our boarding parties can capture a ship in 5 minutes. Colonel Yoon Sunmi had trained over 3,000 Marines in shipboarding tactics. They were the best soldiers humanity had ever produced. "We're not just fighting for Earth," she told them before the battle. "We're fighting for the future of our species. Every alien ship we capture makes us stronger. Every victory brings us closer to ending this war." The Velkari fleet was massive beyond imagination. It stretched across space like a metal cloud. Fleet Admiral Velgoth commanded this armada with absolute authority. "This time there will be no mistakes," he told his subordinates. "We will not underestimate the humans, we will destroy them completely." But Admiral Velgoth had made one crucial error. He assumed that humans would defend Earth the same way other species defended their homeworlds. He expected them to gather all their ships around the planet and fight desperately. Instead, Admiral Kim had a different plan. "We're not going to defend Earth," he announced to his commanders. "We're going to attack them." The room fell silent. Captain O was the first to speak. "Sir, they have 5 times as many ships as we do." "Yes, but they're all coming to one place," Kim explained. "They've put their entire fleet in one location. If we can damage or destroy it, we win the war." Dr. Lim Jae-ho had been studying Velkari psychology through his interrogation of prisoners. He had learned something very important. "Admiral, the Velkari have never fought a war where they might lose," he reported. "Their entire culture is based on the idea that they always win. If we can shake that belief, their morale will collapse." "How do we do that?" Kim asked. "We have to do something they think is impossible. We have to win a battle where we're outnumbered 5-1. Lieutenant Choi Woo-jin was leading a special mission. His fighters were equipped with new stealth technology and experimental weapons. "Our job is to hit their command ship," he told his squadron. "If we can disable their fleet admiral, the rest of their ships will be confused and disorganized." The battle began 3 days before the aliens reached Earth. Human ships attacked from every direction, using tactics that the Velkari had never seen before. Captain Bae Seok-young led the first assault. His raiding fleet attacked the alien supply ships at the back of their formation. "Target their fuel carriers," he ordered. "No fuel means no power for weapons or engines." The Velkari were shocked to find humans attacking their supply lines instead of defending Earth. This was not how wars were supposed to be fought. Dr. Park Minji activated her computer virus at the perfect moment. When the alien fleet tried to coordinate their response to the human attacks, their communication systems went crazy. "Enemy ships are reporting false positions," she told Admiral Kim. "Their computers think human ships are everywhere at once. Their own technology is fighting against them," Kim laughed. "Perfect." The gravity hammer weapons proved devastating. When Kang Min-ho's devices hit alien ships, the crews inside were thrown around like toys. They couldn't operate their weapons or engines. "Boarding parties away," Colonel Yoon ordered. Her Marines used small, fast ships to reach the disabled alien vessels. "Surrender or we'll blow your ship apart," Sergeant Park Dong-yun told the confused Velkari crews. Most of them gave up immediately. Lieutenant Choi Woo-jin's fighters found their target, Admiral Velgoth's command ship. It was the largest vessel in the alien fleet, protected by dozens of smaller ships. "Go, squadron, begin your attack run," he commanded. The human fighters were invisible to alien sensors. They flew right through the protective formation and struck the command ship before anyone knew they were there. "Direct hits on their bridge," Choi reported. "The command ship is dead in space." Without their admiral's orders, the Velkari fleet began to fall apart. Individual ships tried to attack humans on their own, but they had no coordination. "This is chaos," observed Captain O from his command post on Earth's orbital station. "They don't know how to fight without someone telling them what to do." General O Taewon was watching the battle through long-range sensors. What he saw amazed him. "Admiral, the alien fleet is retreating," he reported to Kim. Retreating? Already? Yes, sir. They're pulling back toward their own territory. I think we broke their morale, but Admiral Kim was not satisfied with just driving them away. All ships, pursue the enemy. Don't let them regroup. Captain Song Yura's ghost fleet had been waiting for this moment. While the aliens were retreating in disorder, her ships appeared, behind them. Cut off their escape route, she ordered. Force them to surrender or fight. The next few hours were unlike anything in galactic history. A human fleet of 1,000 ships was defeating a Velkari armada of 2,000 vessels. How is this possible? Admiral Velgoth asked from his damaged command ship. We have better technology. We have more ships. We should be winning. His tactical officer had figured it out. Sir, they're not fighting like any species we've ever encountered. They use our own strengths against us. They turn every advantage into a disadvantage. What do you mean? Velgoth demanded. Our ships are designed to work together in large formations, but they've disrupted our communications, so we can't coordinate. Our weapons are powerful, but they're attacking too many targets for us to handle. Our technology is advanced, but they've learned to copy it and improve it. Velgoth finally understood what Commander Thexmol had tried to warn them about months ago. Humans were unlike any enemy the Velkari had ever faced. Send a message to all ships, he ordered. We're withdrawing from this system. But it was too late. Human boarding parties had captured over 300 alien vessels. The rest of the Velkari fleet was scattered and demoralized. Dr. Shin Unbi was interrogating captured alien officers. What they told her shocked even her. We never expected you to attack us, one alien admitted. Every other species just defends their homeworld. But you attacked our supply lines, disrupted our communications, and turned our own technology against us. Why didn't you adapt your tactics? She asked. We don't know how, the alien replied sadly. We've used the same strategies for 1,000 years. We never needed to change. The Battle of Earth was over. Humanity had faced the largest military force in galactic history and won decisively. Admiral Kim stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking at the captured alien ships floating around Earth. How many prisoners did we take? He asked Colonel Yoon. Over 8,000, sir. Plus we captured 400 ships intact. And our casualties? Light, sir. We lost 60 ships and about 2,000 people. Kim nodded grimly. Every human, death was a tragedy. But they had defeated an empire that had conquered 47 different species. Send a message to all human colonies, he ordered. The Velkari Empire's main fleet has been destroyed. The war is almost over. But Kim knew that wounded predators were often the most dangerous. The Velkari still had ships scattered across their empire. They would try to strike back. However, something had changed in the galaxy. For the first time in 1,000 years, the Velkari Empire had been defeated in open battle. Word of their defeat was spreading to every conquered species. On dozens of worlds, enslaved aliens were beginning to whisper a new whew. 3 weeks after the Great Battle at Earth, a message arrived that surprised everyone. It came from the Velkari Triumvirate themselves. Admiral Kim Jin-woo read the message, aloud to his senior staff. To the leaders of humanity, the Velkari Empire wishes to negotiate terms of peace. We offer you a place in our empire as honored vassals. In exchange, you will cease your attacks on our forces. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Captain O. Taewon started laughing. They still don't understand, he said. They think we fought them just to get a better position in their empire. What should we tell them? Asked General Ode Admiral Kim, thought for a moment. Then he smiled coldly. Tell them this. We don't want a place in your empire. We want your empire's place. When the Velkari Triumvirate received Kim's response, they were shocked into silence. What does that mean? Asked Vextar Zilthos, the oldest and wisest of the three, finally understood. It means they intend to destroy us completely. They're not fighting for better treatment. They're fighting to eliminate us as a threat. That's impossible, Kethran protested. No species has ever tried to destroy our entire empire. Even if they defeat our fleets, they can't possibly conquer all our worlds. can't they? Zilthos asked quietly. Meanwhile, human fleets were already moving toward Velkari space. Admiral Kim had divided his forces into 12 separate battle groups, each targeting a different sector of the alien empire. Captain John Minsu commanded Battle Group Alpha, heading toward the Velkari home system. His fleet included 200 human ships and 50 captured alien vessels operated by human crews. Remember, he told his captains, we're not here to conquer their worlds. We're here to destroy their ability to make war. Captain Shin Yunbi led Battle Group Beta toward the Velkari military shipyards. Her mission was to prevent them from building new vessels. Every shipyard we destroy means they can't replace their losses, she explained to her officers. Cut off their ability to build ships, and their empire becomes just a collection of defenseless worlds. The Velkari tried to defend their territory, but they were no longer fighting the same humans who had struggled against a single alien ship 18 months ago. These humans had learned, adapted, and evolved into something the galaxy had never seen before. Dr. Park Minji had cracked the alien computer networks completely. Human commanders now had access to all Velkari communications, fleet positions, and strategic plans. Admiral, she reported to Kim, I'm reading their military dispatches in real time. They're trying to gather their scattered fleets, but we know exactly where they're going. Then we'll be waiting for them, Kim replied. Engineer Han Kyung-ho had developed new weapons specifically designed to fight Velkari ships. His quantum disruptors could disable alien vessels without destroying them. We need their ships intact, he explained to Admiral Ryu Changmin. Every vessel we capture makes our fleet stronger. The first major battle of the human counterattack took place at the Vega system, where the Velkari had a major military base. Commander Velthax was in charge of defending the system with 80 ships. He had studied reports of human tactics and thought he was prepared. The humans use chaos and confusion, he told his officers. We will maintain strict formation and not allow them to disrupt our coordination. But the humans had learned new tactics since their last encounter. Captain Song Yura approached the Vega system with her fleet spread out over several light years. To Velkari sensors, it looked like the humans were attacking from 6 different directions at once. All ships, execute Plan Omega, she commanded. Plan Omega was the most complex battle strategy humans had ever attempted. Each ship group attacked at precisely the right moment to create maximum confusion among the aliens. Commander Velthax watched his sensors in disbelief as human ships seemed to appear and disappear like ghosts. Where are they coming from? He demanded. I don't know, sir, his tactical officer replied. Our sensors show human ships in 12 different locations, but that's impossible. What Velthax didn't know was that the humans were using captured Velkari technology to create false sensor readings. Half the ships his sensors detected weren't really there. While the aliens were shooting at phantom targets, the real human ships attacked their supply depot and communication center. Sir, we've lost contact with Fleet Command, reported the communication officer. Sir, our ammunition depot is under attack, called out another officer. Sir, human boarding parties have taken control of the orbital station, shouted a third. The battle was over in 4 hours. The humans had captured the entire Vega system without losing a single ship. Lieutenant Choi Woo-jin had been promoted to major and given command of a special forces unit called the Shadow Hunters. Their job was to capture Velkari leaders alive. Intelligence is more valuable than destruction, he told his pilots. Every alien commander we capture tells us more about their empire's weaknesses. Dr. Lim Jae-ho had become an expert at interrogating alien prisoners. Through careful questioning, he was mapping the entire structure of the Velkari Empire. Admiral, they're not as unified as we thought, he reported to Kim. The 3 species in their empire don't really trust each other. They work together only because they're afraid of the triumvirate. What happens if we remove the triumvirate? Kim asked. The empire probably falls apart on its own, Lim replied. Colonel Yoon Sunmi was training a new type of soldier, the Planet Takers. These were Marines specialized in capturing enemy worlds intact. We don't want to destroy their civilizations, she explained. We want to liberate them from Velkari control. Many of these species were conquered against their will. The strategy was working brilliantly. As human fleets advanced into Velkari space, they discovered that many conquered species were eager to rebel against their overlords. Captain Bei Seokyung made first contact with the Kalari, a bird-like species that had been enslaved by the Velkari for 300 years. "You're the humans we've heard about," said Kalari leader Thrixnel. "The ones who defeated the Velkari fleet at your homeworld." "We're here to offer you freedom," Bei replied. "Help us fight the Velkari, and your people will be free to govern themselves." The Kalari didn't hesitate. Within days, they were providing intelligence about Velkari military installations and helping human forces navigate their sector of space. Similar rebellions were breaking out across the Empire. The Zephyrians, the Mantids, the Crystalline Collective, all the conquered species were rising up against their Velkari masters. "The Empire is collapsing from within," reported Admiral Kim to the human government on Earth. "We're not just fighting the Velkari military. We're liberating an entire empire of enslaved species." But the Velkari triumvirate had one last desperate plan. "If we cannot defeat the humans in open battle," Zilthos announced, "then we will destroy everything they value. We will use our planet-killer weapons to turn their colonies to ash. That will make us no better than the monsters they claim we are," protested Kethran. "Better to be living monsters than dead heroes," Vextar replied coldly. The decision was made. The remaining Velkari fleet would sacrifice itself in a final assault on human colonies, using weapons of mass destruction. But Dr. Park Minji was listening to every word through her network of computer viruses. "Admiral," she warned Kim, "they're planning to use planet-killer weapons against our colonies. They'd rather destroy everything than lose the war." "How long do we have?" Kim asked. 72 hours before their remaining fleets reach our outer colonies." Admiral Kim made the hardest decision of the war. "All battle groups change course. We're going straight to the Velkari homeworld. We end this war before they can destroy our people." Captain Jian Minsu's fleet was the closest to Velkari Prime. "Admiral, we can reach their home system in 48 hours if we push our engines to maximum." "Do it," Kim ordered. "Whatever the cost, we have to stop them." The final race had begun. Human fleets across the galaxy turned toward the Velkari homeworld, knowing that millions of human lives depended on reaching it in time. Behind them, the last Velkari battle fleets were heading toward defenseless human colonies, carrying weapons that could burn entire worlds. The next 48 hours would determine whether humanity would survive as a species, or whether both humans and Velkari would destroy each other in a final act of mutual annihilation. As his fleet raced through space toward the enemy's homeworld, Admiral Kim realized that this war had become something neither side had originally intended. It was no longer about conquest or territory. It had become a fight for the right to exist. Captain John Minsu's fleet arrived at Velkari Prime just as the sun was setting on the alien capital city. The planet was beautiful, with crystal spires reaching into purple skies. It was hard to believe that such a lovely world was the center of an empire built on conquest and slavery. "Admiral Kim, this is Captain John," he broadcast to the human fleet. "We have reached the Velkari homeworld. No sign of defensive fleets. That's because they sent everything they had to attack our colonies." Kim's voice replied through the communication system. "You have 6 hours before they reach our people. End this war, Captain." The Velkari triumvirate sat in their great hall, watching as human ships filled the sky above their world. For the first time in their long lives, they were afraid. "How did they get here so fast?" Vextar asked. "They're not like us," Zilthus replied sadly. "We follow rules and traditions. They do whatever works." "Should we surrender?" Kethran wondered. "And spend the rest of our lives as prisoners of a species we tried to enslave?" Vextar laughed bitterly. "I think not." Major Choi Woojin led the first human landing on Velkari Prime. His soldiers were expecting fierce resistance, but instead they found something unexpected. The streets were full of aliens, but they weren't fighting. "Sir, the Velkari civilians are just watching us," reported Sergeant Park Dongyan. "They're not attacking?" Choi asked. "No, sir. They seem curious more than hostile." Dr. Lim Jae-ho was with the landing party and he had been studying Velkari culture for months. Major, I think they've never seen their own military defeated. They don't know what to do. Captain Shin Yunbi was leading a separate assault on the Yao Velkari Government Center. Her mission was to capture the triumvirate alive. Remember, she told her Marines, we need them to call off the attack on our colonies. Dead leaders can't give orders. The Velkari Palace was defended by the Empire's elite guard, but these soldiers had never fought humans before. They were shocked when human Marines didn't follow normal battle tactics. Colonel Yoon Sunmi's soldiers came through the walls instead of the doors. They dropped from the ceiling instead of walking down hallways. They used captured Velkari weapons in ways the aliens had never imagined. Surrender and you will be treated honorably, Yoon announced in the Velkari language. The alien guards looked at each other in confusion. In their entire history, no one had ever successfully attacked the Triumvirate's palace. This is impossible, one guard said. The palace is supposed to be impregnable. Your palace was designed to keep out Velkari-style attacks, Yoon explained. But we're not Velkari. Within 2 hours, human forces had captured the government center and were surrounding the great hall where the triumvirate waited. Vextar, Kethron, and Zilthos, Captain Shin called out as her troops entered the hall. I am Captain Shin Yunbi of the human military. You are under arrest for crimes against sentient species. The 3 alien leaders looked at each other. Zilthos was the first to speak. We will not surrender to inferior beings, he declared. Then you misunderstand the situation, Shin replied calmly. You have already surrendered. Your military is defeated. Your planet is occupied. Your people are not resisting us. The only question now is whether you will cooperate or be dragged away in chains. Vextar reached for a weapon, but Dr. Lim Jae-ho was faster. The stun blast knocked the alien leader unconscious. 2 down, 1 to go, Lim said, pointing his weapon at the remaining triumvirate members. But Admiral Kim's voice crackled through the communication system with urgent news. All forces. Priority message. The Velkari attack fleets have reached our colonies. They're demanding our surrender or they'll destroy New Shanghai and Kepler Station. Captain Jaeon looked at the captured alien leaders. Can you make them stop? Kethron laughed bitterly. Even if we wanted to, we can't. Those fleets have orders to destroy your colonies no matter what happens to us. That was our final command. Then we'll have to stop them ourselves, John replied. But the human colonies were too far away. Even the fastest human ships couldn't reach them in time to prevent the attack. That's when Dr. Park Minji announced her final masterstroke. Admiral, I've been inside the Velkari computer networks for months, she reported. Every ship in their fleet is connected to the central command system here on their home world. What does that mean? Kim asked. It means I can take control of their ships remotely, she explained. I can turn their own weapons against them. The next few hours were unlike anything in galactic history. From the captured Velkari capital, human technicians took control of alien warships thousands of light years away. Commander Hexamore was leading the attack on New Shanghai when his ship's computer systems began acting strangely. Sir, we're receiving new orders, his communication officer reported. From who? Hexamore demanded. From the Triumvirate, sir. They're ordering us to stand down and return to base. That's impossible. We just left Velkari Prime 2 days ago. What Hexamore didn't know was that the orders were coming from Dr. Park Minji, who was sitting in the captured command center on his home world. All Velkari ships, this is your final warning, she broadcast in perfect Velkari language. Return to your bases immediately or face destruction. Most of the alien commanders obeyed the orders, thinking they came from their own government. The few ships that tried to continue their attack found their weapon systems shutting down automatically. Admiral, Kim watched through long-range sensors as the Velkari attack fleets turned around and headed back toward their own territory. Dr. Park, you just saved millions of human lives, he said. Just doing my job, sir, she replied with a tired smile. But the war wasn't over yet. There were still scattered Velkari fleets throughout their empire, and many alien worlds were still under triumvirate control. The solution came from an unexpected source, the liberated species themselves. Kalari leader Thrixnall contacted Admiral Kim with a proposal. "We have been talking with the other freed peoples," he said. "The Zephyrians, the Mantids, the Crystalline Collective, and dozens of other species. We want to help finish this war." "What are you suggesting?" Kim asked. "Let us deal with the remaining Velkari forces in our sectors. We know their positions, their weaknesses, their supply lines. Working together, we can liberate the entire empire in weeks instead of years." It was a brilliant plan. Instead of human forces having to conquer every Velkari world, the enslaved species would liberate themselves with human support. Captain Bay Sokyung worked with the Zephyrian fleet to capture the Velkari military academy. Major Choi Woojin helped the Mantid warriors take control of 3 different star systems. Captain Song Yura provided weapons and training to the Crystalline Collective as they drove Velkari forces from their home worlds. Within 6 weeks, the Velkari Empire had completely collapsed. Some alien commanders surrendered. Others fled to distant parts of the galaxy. A few died fighting to the end, but the empire that had dominated 47 species for over 1,000 years was gone forever. Admiral Kim stood in the great hall of the former Triumvirate Palace, now converted into a meeting place for representatives of the liberated species. "What happens now?" asked Dr. Lim Jae-ho. "Now we build something better," Kim replied. "An alliance of free worlds instead of an empire of slaves." The final casualty count was staggering. Of the 3 species that had formed the Velkari Empire, 2 had gone extinct during the war. The third, the original Velkari themselves, survived but in very small numbers on a handful of worlds. They would serve as a reminder to the galaxy of what happened to those who built empires on the suffering of others. Dr. An Soo-young, humanity's chief historian, was already documenting the war for future generations. "What should we call this conflict?" she asked Admiral Kim. "The Velkari War," he suggested. "I have a better idea," she replied. "Let's call it the war that ended empires." 5 years after the war ended, Ambassador Lee Chae-young was meeting with representatives from over 300 species. The old Velkari Empire had become the Free Worlds Alliance, dedicated to protecting the rights of all sentient beings. "The galaxy has learned an important lesson," she told the assembly. "Conquest leads to destruction. Cooperation leads to prosperity." But everyone knew the real lesson of the war. On every world, in every language, the same phrase was whispered with both fear and respect. None endured after battling humans. The phrase had become the galaxy's most important warning. It meant that humanity was not a species to be threatened or enslaved. It meant that humans would fight with everything they had to protect their freedom and the freedom of others. On Earth, a great monument was built to honor those who died in the war. The inscription was simple but powerful. They chose to fight the darkness so that others might see the light. Let all who threaten humanity remember, we do not yield, we do not bend, and we do not forget. Fleet Admiral Park Dong-hyun, now in charge of the Human Defense Forces, often visited the monument. He would read the names of the dead and remember their sacrifice. "Sir," his aide asked him one day, "do you think we'll ever face another threat like the Velkari?" Park thought for a long moment before answering. "I hope not, but if we do, they'll learn the same lesson the Velkari learned." Which is? That humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our refusal to give up no matter the odds.